Welcome to Hoda's Career Chat. For those of you joining me for the first time, I am a career development professional. I am certified, and what that all means is that I work with my clients to help them with any career-related problem. Part of what I do is really I focus on career direction, and my clients are typically young adults ages 16 to 25 and women in transition. So these are my clients typically, but I have taken on clients who don't fit these categories, and I have worked with clients with anything they wanted help with besides career direction, such as preparing for interviews, writing resumes. It really depends on your need. We prepare a package for you and we move forward with that. So this is a little bit about me and about what I do, but right away I'm going to jump off into what Hoda's Career Chat is all about. It's about careers, and one of the topics that has been on the mind of many, particularly with COVID-19, in that some plans have changed. Our definition of success has changed because of what COVID has forced on us. Regardless, I say you stay focused, you stay really dedicated to what it is you would like to accomplish, and you will be able to accomplish it. So one of the topics that I like to talk about is creating a plan, designing a career plan. So your job is to design that plan. No one can design it for you, because guess what? You are the only one who knows what you want. And if you're not sure right now, that is okay, because everyone has to start somewhere, and it's all about putting a plan together and figuring out what's important in it. So what we can do when we design plan is first, of course, give it a plan, give the plan a name. You can call it my dream. You can call it I know what I'm doing, because a lot of people feel that they don't. So if you do, that's great. You can call it that. Now, if you're not sure what you want to do, you can call it my optimism plan, because you are optimistic that you are going to find what you want to do to succeed, but you're not sure yet what it is. So that's why you need to plan. And I've had a client call it my war to success. He knew what he wanted to do. He knew it was hard to get what he wanted to get, but he had a plan called the War to Success, and he was actually able to accomplish what he wanted to do. I do have a career plan myself, and I do call it Hoda's CMP, which is just a fancy name for career management career management plan. So Hoda's career management plan, or Hoda's CMP. So you can put your name there too and call it that if you like. But you need to have a plan in order to really succeed in accomplishing whatever it is you want to accomplish, whether it is, and I always like to give the example nowadays, because it's summer here where I live, is making it to the ice cream store. So if you want to make it to the ice cream store, you really have to have a plan as to when you're going to go. Make sure you take some money, or nowadays you take your card or your phone, so you can tap and pay for the ice cream. And you need to decide that you should be going before the ice cream store closes. So there's the plan. And I have included some questions for you to think about as you write your plan, your career plan. So what do you include? As you sit and ponder, there is no format. I mean, if you want a format, I can give you a mini plan, send you one. But really, you don't need a format. You just need to think of the important questions to you. So what is really important to you? Money, work-life balance, education. For me, it's lifelong learning. I love to just keep learning all my life. And that's why I am in the field that I am in. It gives me the opportunity to attend conferences and learn, whether it is recruiting conferences or coaching, career counseling conferences. And I'm all continuously learning about how the career hiring process evolves. So what is really important to you? That could be a question you can think about. Write that down on a piece of paper or on the notes on your phone. Another question is, what is it that you dream about day in and day out? So one of the things that I used to do as a young person was, just if I am in the classroom, imagine that I'm outside, just hanging out in a restaurant, sitting outside. So that's what I love to do. And it's okay to write that down. It just gives you the opportunity to explore how that fits with everything else that you like to do. So for me, eventually, and after many, many years of reflecting on this choice of answer, I realized that sitting in an office all day was not for me. And I did actually work in a bank, and that was not for me. But I did try it, and I worked in a call center. Like all of these jobs where I was always in an office, that did not work for me. So now the work that I do allows me to go in and out and really work my own hours. So this is what it is that you can dream about and how that all fits in, but it takes time of reflection, of course. Another way of looking at it is, what is it that you hate about your day? What do you not look forward to? If you are in school, what is the subject that you absolutely hate? So you write that down in a hate column, and then you start to eliminate any jobs that connect to that. For me, it was anything that had to do with biology or science in general, but biology in particular. So I wrote that down and I put those aside. Like, I don't want anything to do with that particular science. So what is it? What topic you hate if you're in school? If you are at work, what is the part of the day that makes you think, oh my God, this day is never gonna end? And what is it that would make you happy during your day? So when you wake up in the morning, what do you look forward to? And another example that I like to use a lot is that it's Friday and it's pizza night, and that's something you look forward to. Who do you hang out with for pizza night? Is it friends? Is it coworkers? What topics do you talk about? This will all help you to start creating a plan, because now you know what you want to include in that plan. Now, I do say that you try to be as specific as you can in your questions, but also in your answers. So really nitpick the little things that you do in the day in and day out. Nitpick, and if you want, what one client did is that she kind of did, okay, I wake up at 8:15, I'm brushing my teeth, and then so on and so forth. And then she went and did 2 columns, hate, love, and she did the check mark and for every category. And this helped us a lot in narrowing down and finding out her career direction. Believe it or not, it is your daily chores, it's the daily things you do that would help you find your career direction. You have to complete your plan your way. That's why I say it is your plan. You have to do it. No one can do it for you. And otherwise, if you don't, you will not be able to follow through on it. So if I tell you, okay, so this is what I think that you could be headed towards, if you are not engaged in that process, if you are not saying, I don't think so, I think you got it all wrong, then you will not be able to follow through on it. You're going to wake up in the morning not motivated to follow through on it, so that it will lead you to career direction. That's why I do call it a career battle to success. And I'll share with you a quote later in that how it can be a battle for some people. But for now, that's something for you to think about, in that designing a career plan is very important. It really helps you figure out your direction, where you want to be headed. And honestly, you will not regret writing it down. Let me know if you would like to work on one, and I can also send you a little form that you can fill out and work on your own as well. And now it is time to have your questions answered. I am looking forward to these questions, as they always allow me the opportunity to reflect on my knowledge and go build it if I don't know the answer. If you have any questions, please type them in the comments, and I will promise to respond to them. There are no right or wrong questions. I also want you to remember that no question is too silly to contemplate and share. And then no question is too silly for me to contemplate and respond to. Believe me, if you have that question in mind, someone else does as well, and they may benefit from you writing it down. My promise to you, if I don't know the answer, I will let you know. And this will typically happen in our live Hoda's Career Chat. Right now, a lot of the questions have been asked before, and so I will typically have prepared the answers. So let's look at the questions that I got this week. It is time for me to decide if I want to go to college. I have signed up for the required courses, but I'm not sure that online learning is for me. What should I do? This is a very great question, and it has been asked by many, many clients. If it's not the clients, it's sometimes their parents as well. And as I said, the focus of my clients is young adults ages 16 to 25. And so we have gone through a lot of process thinking for every client. And that's what you need to do. You need to think through. The first and foremost that I usually bring out is online learning for you? By thinking about online learning is going to be in two possible formats. One format is the pre-recorded session, which means the professor records it, then you get to listen to it at your leisure, and then you get to do the homework. Of course, that would be at a set time. So you do your own reading, you listen to the lecture, and then you can send the professor questions if you have any. So that is one format. The other format is the live session, which is kind of what we would do in a Zoom call or any conference call. So the person giving the lecture is right there for you to listen to them. And then some will allow you to interrupt midway. Some will say, wait, I'll let you ask questions at the end. But the person is live, the lecturer is right there, and the teacher will respond to your questions as part of the lecture. So the difference between the two is that with the first one, the pre-recorded, is that you have to go get extra effort and email the professor later on. Whereas the live one, the professor is right there and the professor will answer your questions. The first option will require for you to be more organized for sure, because you have to plan, okay, in the morning, I wake up at 8, at 9 a.m. I am listening to the pre-recorded session, and then at 1, I'll go study and figure out how to put everything together. Whereas the other one, you have to show up whenever the professor decides to present the lecture live. So definitely, either way, though, you are on your own, and a lot of organization of your time needs to be considered. And are you okay with online learning? So many of the students I've worked with, they did not want to be sitting in front of a computer all day. That did not seem like the life they wanted to lead, because if you're taking 4 or 5 courses, that could be an all-day event, almost like if you were going to go to classes in person. So the difference between online learning and the classes in person is that the class in person, you do get to socialize more with students. You would sit next to someone and chat and make friends. Definitely more connections will be built. However, many universities, what they're doing right now, are doing smaller size activities for students to meet and connect. It's definitely not the same, but with keeping with social distancing, these events are working in helping students get to know each other outside of the classroom, outside of school, and then connect online. So that's something for you to consider about online learning. If you have more questions, please make sure to send me any further details. But this is, from what I know, the best way is for you to sit, think about what online learning requires, and then say, is this for me or not? So get into the nitty-gritty details of online learning, particularly for the university or college that you apply to, because every university is doing it differently. All right, next question. How many sections should a resume be divided into? I would say that a resume should be divided into 4 sections. And well, no matter how many sections you decide to divide it to, what is important for you to remember is a resume, in my opinion, and the opinions will vary, shouldn't be more than a 1-page resume. Now, some resume writers will say 2, maybe 3 is okay. I say 1. I have attended a lot of conferences with recruiters presenting and telling me how they select resumes. They spent about an average of 30 seconds on a resume, some of them even less. And so can you imagine skimming a resume and it is 3 pages? So just keep that in mind as you write your resume. So it shouldn't be more than 1 a page. Ideally, I would say 4 sections, and these sections should include education, experience, skills, and of course the profile. Now you decide how you want to do these, in what order. Profile, of course, goes to the top and includes your name and a way to contact you. Ideally, your email address would not be happyflower@gmail.com. So it needs to be sounding professional, your name, unless Happy Flower is your company name, which for me is like rightcareerfit@shaw.ca. That is my company address. Then that would be okay. But if you are individual applying, it should not be, it should have your name. So make sure that your address is written correctly. A phone number is nice if you have it as well. So education, experience, work experience, skills. Now, it depends on your experience and what age you're at. So if you're just graduating from high school, or if you have like 40 years work experience, that would differ on the type of resume that I would recommend. And this is what you need to realize, is that there are many, many types of resumes available out there. So the most common ones, or what I call the traditional ones, are the chronological, which is you start with high school and then you go up all the way to the current situation. Or the other one is the functional or skills resume. The functional or skills resume would really focus on your skills to start, and then on your education, and the skills would not highlight the work experience, but would highlight the type of skills that you have and how you can show that you have those skills. And a lot of time now, what we're saying with resumes is don't say I answered phones, but you're going to say I resolved clients' problems, obviously by answering the phones, but focus on what you did rather than on the routine mundane task, but on your accomplishments. If you have accomplished sales, so sales numbers, writing those down in your resume would be a good idea. But yeah, to really just come back to specific how many sections, I would say no more than 4 and no more than 1 page. All right, is it worth the time and money to change careers? That's a great question. For me, it was. For me, it was, because I am very happy where I am right now. And so the question becomes, how unhappy are you in your current situation? So questions you can ask yourself first, how did you get to that question? So what led you to answer, is it worth it? I mean, to ask, is it worth it? If you are not happy at work, you have to sit down and ask why you are not happy at work. One of the questions you ask is, what is it that I feel restless? What is it that makes me feel restless about my work here? And this is where we go again, by going through your day hour by hour and figuring out, is it your boss? I worked recently with a client. It was the boss. She couldn't get along with him, and she loves her job. She loves what she do on a daily basis, but she did not get along with the boss. And if that's the case, then you really don't need to change careers, you just need to change jobs. But if you get along well with the managers and supervisors, but it's really the daily tasks that get to you, then it probably is worth to consider changing careers. So these are the questions that you need to think about. Sit with yourself and figure out what is bothering you about your situation, because sometimes it could be external factors as well. So it's not the job, but it's also what happens after the job, or even sometimes before you get to your job. So really, changing careers is worth it if you are not happy. And if you think the career you're going to jump into is for you, for sure, like you've always wanted to do it. So you've always wanted to be a dancer, and now you're in your 40s and you feel so bad that you never got the opportunity to dance professionally. You can always try, but try it as a side hustle. Maybe spend your days off trying to see if that's the profession you want to change to. And that's a good way of figuring out if it's worth it for you to take it any further. So I hope this gives you an idea of how to start considering the situation, if it's worth it or not. How do I deal with the depression I get by reading about unemployed fresh grads on LinkedIn? I am in third year of electrical engineering, and the job market situation in my country is already very unpleasant. That does sound like an uncomfortable situation to be in. Dealing with the depression, the first thing to do is to talk about it to someone. So I am glad that you came to me with this question. Don't keep it bottled up, and talk to others, preferably live and in person, who are good mentors, who are willing to listen and to hear your side of the story, and maybe help you by brainstorming opportunities and options for you to consider. So talking about it is definitely a great way to deal with a depression. And if you're really, really bad situation right now, so really just stop listening to this and just go get some sort of support. And if you don't have the resources, definitely email me. I will send you the resources of a nonprofit organization that can help you and support you. You are in the third year of electrical engineering. You are in a good position. You're on your way to accomplishing a bachelor degree. That is something to be happy about, to be excited about. And really, at this point in time, that should be your focus. If you were not able to get a summer job, and it's okay, and it depends on your country, but it's not too late to try to find some volunteering jobs. And volunteering jobs get you references, expand your social network, and absolutely, absolutely may lead to possible job opportunities. I'm not sure what country you live in. Again, that would make a lot of difference. But in North America, yes, we see that the job market situation is bad, but I have helped many clients get hired in positions that they wanted. So companies are hiring despite the pandemic. And now actually the opportunities are plentiful because you can work online. So even if in your country, sometimes your experience is not appreciated, you might be able to find something online. Now with electrical engineering, that might be a little bit tougher unless you can do stuff online, but it is doable. You will be able to find a job if you continue with the right mindset. Anyway, you still have another years to go. And so in 6 months, probably in January of 2021, that would be the time for you to start looking for a job, so that by the time you graduate, depending again where your university ends, some universities end in April, some in May, but January is a great time for you to start job hunting, and maybe earlier if that makes you feel like you're doing something about it, and then not sitting and wondering, what if I can't find a job a year from now? I have worked with clients who were very aggressive, wanted to ensure they got a job, and they were able to line up job in November for June start. So it does happen, and really the onus is on you to stay with your positive mindset, prepare a great resume, keep focusing on getting good grades in your school, graduating on time. These will all give you the positive mindset and will help you move forward. The job market situation can change by next year, particularly if an immunization is developed for COVID. There will be a lot of upswing in companies hiring and the positive mindset of everybody. So you have to be ready for that with your positive attitude and a well-written resume and a great social network. Again, I would like to repeat, it's just I don't like to leave you if you are not feeling well, or if you are truly feeling depressed, you should reach out to someone and talk about it. Don't keep it bottled up inside. It's not going to help you in moving forward with your studies come September. Thank you for your questions, and this is all the time I have for questions. As usual, before I leave you, I like to share a quotation. And remember at the start, I talked about a battle. And that's because this is one quotation I found in one of the books I read recently. Here's what the quotation says. The warrior and the artist live by the same code of necessity, which dictates that the battle must be fought anew every day. So working on your career direction, working on your career path, working on your career plan, this is something that you need to do every day. Whether you dedicate 10 minutes to it or 10 hours, it needs to be done every day so that you can move, perhaps slowly. It might feel slowly, but you will be moving in the direction of your success. And the author of this book wrote this sentence when he finished his first novel. So he was very excited, and that's how he felt, because he had to write every day until he was able to finish it. And that day he felt, wow, I have accomplished something. So that feeling of accomplishment, once you accomplish, finish writing a book, is cannot be paralleled until you put on the hours. So definitely need to focus on that, fighting it anew every day. Thank you so much for attending Hoda's Career Chat. I'm always super excited to hear your questions, so please make sure to keep sending them in, or show up on Fridays at 2 Mountain Time. You can register for the event on Eventbrite. I'll be there answering your questions live. And you can find me also on rightcareerfit.com, but I'm also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, WordPress, Pinterest, YouTube, SoundCloud, and most recently on Facebook. It's not fully developed yet, but me and my assistant is helping me get there. So make sure you check them out. Give me your comments about what you think of the pages, or send questions about anything related to career. I would love to answer them.